You want me to put my QBs in there too, or just leave them separate?
It's up to you. I don't care.
Where do you have? Ew, on the Giants. Gross. I don't like that.
Yeah, I kind of screwed you over a little bit. I'll be right back. We are streaming, but I'll be right back.
Okay.
So pretty. Yeah. I love that. I mean, to be honest, Jack didn't go there. I thought I would have gone there. I just want, not because, like, I just wanted my own stuff. Right. Yeah. I got accepted there. I was always going to go there. Yeah, it's a great school. All right, I'm going to do a podcast. I'll see you guys afterwards. Good luck. Good luck.
Y'all watching the Olympics?
All right. Let's get the link out. You're muted. Your mic is muted.
I said, do you want to talk about Snyder at all?
Why? You can. Yeah, you can.
Okay. Well, did you see the story that he's like was directly accused of making sexual advances?
Oh, Jesus. I saw like the NFL is gonna like actually pursue their investigation or something.
I don't know. Well, apparently he can like block the findings from becoming public somehow.
I don't understand rich owners.
Oh, well, rich.
What'd you say? Why?
Hmm?
What do you mean?
They're rich. That's why.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You can just do anything you want.
All right. Let's get started soon.
Right. 1 second. What? Copy this link.
All right.
See, Heineke was on PMT.
Mm-mm.
Pretty good interview.
Was he talking about the Commanders?
No, because they must have done it before Wednesday. But he knows, like, he gives him a hint. He says it starts with a C at the end. So.
All right. Let's get started. All right.
Let me send this link out.
All right.
No, we can start. But...
All right. We're getting started. 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
I hope you're doing a little bit better after our last episode, Chris.
It was nice because I was able to get a lot of stuff off my chest.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked away feeling pretty good that I was able to air my grievances. And I thought about writing an open letter to Jason Wright, but I decided I didn't have the time to do it.
Notes app him?
I thought about it. Like, I was just sitting in bed like, you know what? I should just write out everything that I have complaints about. And then I was like, you know what? It's all Snyder's fault anyway, and I don't want to bother him.
Oh, yeah, he's a busy man.
The whole thing it's all a disaster.
Well, to take your mind off of it, we don't have to talk about him too much today. But what we are going to do today, the Super Bowl's a week away, and we're giving it a break. Doesn't mean we can't get ahead and start looking at the NFL offseason already, because a lot of moving parts this offseason. It's going to be fun, and with that is the most important piece to a team, the quarterback. And this year it's looking spicy.
Yeah, well, I've been thinking about it for a while now. Because my team has been out of... I mean, even when we were in, like, playoff contention, Heineke and Fitzpatrick was obviously not the way to go for the future. So I've been doing this exercise for a couple months now.
Well, let's
years.
Let's start it off, and we're gonna go alphabetical order, team by team, and just have. There's a lot of them that are locks. But the fun part about this year is that there's a lot of question marks next to a lot of different teams, where they could 100% have a different quarterback or will have a different quarterback already. And let's get started.
Yeah.
So
I like how we're saving the best for last.
Of course.
Alphabetical order.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, the lead up. We got to build it. So the Arizona Cardinals is first. This one is lock. Lock Kyler Murray. Like that. Like they're not gonna stick with them. They're not gonna draft anyone. They'll be fine. Let's move on. So the first real one, the Atlanta Falcons. I had them sticking with Matt Ryan, just because I really don't see a clear succession plan. I said they draft Matt Corral, but I don't think he's going to start week 1, and they're going to keep Matt Ryan for the time being.
Yeah, I had the same thing. It's kind of funny, like, looking at it. A bunch of these guys that we thought or that we might anticipate being on the move,
there's no spots.
1 year left on their contract.
And there's no spots for him, It's like, I couldn't find a spot where someone's desperate enough to take Matt Ryan.
Right, and there's just not a lot of teams looking for veteran guys, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of teams that have veteran guys that might be trying to move them, but when you have guys like Wilson and Rodgers, like, there's not that many spots for a guy like Matt Ryan.
No, exactly, and that's why I think he's just staying with Atlanta, and we'll ride it out. Do
you think they draft someone at 8 though?
I don't know about at 8. I think since this quarterback draft is so it's so bad that you can just I feel like you can get any of these guys in the second round. I feel like these guys really are kind of interchangeable. It's like all of them have so many flaws and such a cap of their ceiling where you could just I think you just ride it out, have them I think no matter what, there's not a lot of day one starters in this draft. So at quarterback,
it's interesting because it could a lot of times, no matter who is in the quarterback draft class, you get a run on quarterbacks at the beginning. But you also have years like the Haskins year when you had Jones go at 6, Haskins at 15, and then someone else at the end of the first round, and no one's really that interested in them, and it just kind of falls in whoever's laps.
And when it comes to that draft,
that's what it seems like it might, or how it might play out.
That is true. When I'm looking at the draft orders, it's important when it comes to this because the teams at the top don't need them. They don't. Or I guess it starts with the Giants where they need a quarterback.
Yeah, but have they already said that they've committed to Jones, or was that just a?
I think it's remember the Cardinals got a new coach, new GM, and they're like, oh, we're sticking with Rosen. They're just saying that for the time being. True. I'm pretty sure. But we'll get to them. Later. You said at 8 draft
what's his name? I think they could even trade back and get like, I don't know, pick 16 and 15 from the Eagles or something if the Eagles wanted to trade up and then take them in one of those picks. So they have options. They have things to do, and I think keeping Matt Ryan's actually the way to go because, like we just talked about, none of these guys are going to be day one starters in the draft. So
they're in a weird spot too, where it's like they're kind of rebuilding and like they should be, but they also had a decent season last year. Like they won 7 games and they brought in a new coach.
What they should have done, this all would have been avoided if they just took Justin Fields at 4. They're like, oh, we need Kyle Pitts. It's like, you need a quarterback to throw to him first.
Right.
So, I don't know. All right, the next two. Baltimore Ravens, Lamar. Bills, Josh Allen. I mean, I'm guessing you're the same.
Yes.
All right, so the next one that matters, the Carolina Panthers. I had the hometown boy, Sam Howell. Keep him in North Carolina.
Day one starter?
Yeah, you get Sam Darnold instead. It's like you just gotta at this point you gotta throw him to the wolves.
Well, I said that they roll with Darnold and then draft Malik Willis because I saw it in a mock draft, and then I saw another headline that was like Malik Willis really impressive at the Senior Bowl. So I can see him just like rising up out of nowhere, and then all the GMs fall in love with him, and they're the first team it looks like that's gonna take a quarterback, or that should take a quarterback. They're in I feel like in a shitty situation. They kind of sorry, I'm trying to find my draft order real quick. And they are in like a bad spot where they should have drafted one last year. They drafted J.C. Horn instead. And then they should have gotten I don't know. Now that they missed out on last year's great quarterback draft, they're screwed at this 6th pick because it's going to be like a Daniel Jones pick where he goes at 6 and people start questioning it immediately. They're going to end up drafting someone who has like a 2nd round grade in the top 10.
Yes, exactly. But I don't know. I liked the Sam Howell just because like I like the him staying at Charlotte, like, you know, get him in there. He's kind of similar to how Darnold is. He's a little bit smaller, and maybe you just try to slide him in. I don't see them going with Darnold at all, though. Like, he was just so.
Well, they said they liked him, right?
They said they liked him, and like
was it Rule or the GM that was like, Darnold, you know, he's a solid quarterback.
I don't know. It's funny. Those guys might be out of a job sooner rather than later, both of them. So, who knows?
I don't know who they're fooling either.
Yeah, it's like
no one's listening to that and being like, you know what, Darnold is solid. We got a shot with him.
It's not like they're either, and it's like no one's afraid. Like, oh, they're sticking with Darnold. Uh-oh, watch out. Let's run it back. So, I don't know. That's where I would go is to Sam. Next one.
You think? Oh. Hang on. Before we move on, do you think there's any chance that they make a play for a veteran guy?
I wouldn't see the reason to. You know? I guess, like, you have, unless you want to trade CMC, get something for him, but actually, no, you're kind of right. They do have weapons. They have a decently young defense, but I just couldn't see, like, they're not getting Wilson. They're not getting Aaron Rodgers. They're not getting the great ones, so then they're going to be stuck with, like, a Kirk Cousins or, like, a Jimmy G, if that's the case.
Right.
And personally, I would stay away.
It could make sense, but at the same time, like, the spot that they're in, I think it makes way more sense to just try with a young guy. Because you're right. There's no way that Wilson or Rodgers is agreeing to come to Carolina with this team.
No, and especially with that head
And
coach
be
nut
coached
job.
by, I was gonna say, like a boob like Matt Rule. Like, there's no chance.
Yeah, definitely. Next one, Bears, Fields. Bengals, Joe Burrow, and then the Cleveland Browns.
So this is another one where I was like, Baker still has a year on his contract. And I don't like who's trading for Baker with a year on the contract. He's not that desirable,
and no one wants to pay him. So
yeah, exactly.
You can't, like, Cleveland's kind of stuck with Baker. They have to keep him on, unless they want to cut him. They have to keep him on the roster because no one's going to trade for him. And at that point, you just see like I think the mindset with the Browns is you scout out all these quarterbacks. You get one maybe in a third round, and then you have Baker, and you just hope he's right. I was just injured. I was playing injured, and you just kind of ride it back because.
Well, and they also got rid of one of his best weapons. As even though that didn't work out at all.
No, and you try to see. I would try to booster. They kind of had the year from hell. The Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm.
They had a ton of injuries. Baker got injured, played inconsistently. They still have a great defense. They just need some wide receivers, and then they'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll pose the same question for this. Do you think there's any chance that a Rodgers comes to Cleveland?
No. Because look at the wide receivers around.
It's a perfect spot. I mean, good defense. Seems like they have a good coach. And
I just don't see.
Rodgers, no matter where they're going, they're gonna bring a receiver in, like Brady did to Tampa.
That's true. I just don't see what do they give up for it. The ones with Rodgers, with actually Rodgers. So is Rodgers a free agent or not? Like he has that
No,
void. So he I thought he could void his contract or something. But
I'm not sure. I think he has to be traded.
I just don't
Could be wrong
see
about that, though.
the way they get him. What are they trading for him that doesn't ruin their defense or destroy their whole and you are right. Like a lot of these and the other thing is you say it's a perfect spot for them to go to. So is a lot, but so is a lot of teams that you could go when you go in there and you get Aaron Rodgers. It's like you already have you're already on Super Bowl contention no matter what team it is.
Rodgers coming in makes it the perfect spot.
Yeah. But
so I don't know. I just ride with Baker and then.
That's what I was. Is that what you have?
Yeah, that's what I have. I can see this playing out like a Cousins thing too.
You tag him.
Baker. Tag him next year. Maybe tag him again the next year, and then you're just kind of sitting there at 8-9, 9-8. Maybe get one decent playoff run.
Yeah, I could see that.
I know it's a tough spot because you can't pay him.
No, you can't.
He looks so bad this year.
No, you definitely can't pay him. You definitely can't extend him anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
The next one, Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. I don't think they're changing. I think they should change the coach before they should change the quarterback on this team. But they should be sticking with them.
Mm-hmm.
This is where it gets juicy, Chris. This is where my Rodgers bomb comes. Denver Broncos, I have Mr. Aaron Rodgers.
It's too obvious.
I know.
That's all the reports I've been seeing.
And
is Rodgers to Denver.
And normally at these sports things, you're it's too obvious. Then it just happens. It always happens every time you think it's too obvious. So I think I talk about a perfect scenario. I think they have the weapons. I think their defense is pretty good. And they are just going to
they just hired his old offensive coordinator.
Yeah, and his tight ends coach. They're
going all in for him.
They're laying the groundwork, saying, "Come on, come over here, Rodgers." And I don't know what they give up for him, but it won't matter. I think they get him, and then following comes Devonte Adams, also to Denver.
Really, both of them.
I want to see Devonte Adams personally on the Raiders, just because he played college with Derek Carr. I think that would be kind of cool, but. I think they just have such a love for each other, such a weird bromance that they can't be separated.
That's fair. Do they have money right now?
Oh, they'll find it. It's John Elway. They'll find the money.
See, that doesn't make sense to me because Elway's not a good GM.
No, he's not. But this is why I think this is it though. This is his big swing. He's look, I came in, I got Peyton. Now I got to get Rodgers and cement myself as actually a decent GM with that. But also he'll have his 2 GM moves would be getting 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. So I don't know if that's it's a prop on him, but it's not going to be
he still can't find one.
He can't find a quarterback.
All right. Well, I have Russell Wilson going there.
Oh, you have Russell going.
I have Rodgers going elsewhere.
Okay.
So any holes that I'm poking really would apply to my pick as well.
Okay, so you got Wilson in Denver. I like with the signing of his offensive coordinator and his tight ends coach. I was like, all right, they're laying out the breadcrumbs. The trade's coming.
I don't know. I see Rodgers somewhere else.
I see
That's
Russ
all.
in a. I don't see Russ in Denver just because it's funny because it's because of his wife.
You don't think she wants to live in Denver?
No, who wants to live in Denver? She's got nothing.
Denver's a nice city.
Boulder, Colorado. Yeah, Denver. I mean, I think it's a good pick.
Yeah.
Sorry, what's up
Who is
next? We have the Detroit Lions, where I have them sticking with Mr. Goff.
I do too. And it's like they need a quarterback. But Goff was. It's hard to say that he was good.
Yeah.
Because they went 3-13. But at the same time, he was at worst serviceable.
The thing is, he's no better than any of these quarterbacks in the draft. Or the quarterbacks in the
No
draft
worse.
are no better. Yeah, no worse than any of these quarterbacks in the draft. Especially with, and if you draft one, like all these guys that we talked about, like if you draft them, it seems like they're going to be sitting for a year.
Mhm.
So,
I
don't
can
know.
see them drafting someone, not at 2 though. Like I could see them trading back or getting someone. They have the last.
But then,
pick in the first round.
why do
I
you
see
do that? Like, why trade
mean?
back at 2 when you could just get the actual? You can get Adam Hutchinson or the other guy.
Yeah,
from
I know.
Oregon. Like, actually get a good player that could be a key to your defense. This reminds me of the Cleveland Browns when remember they had back-to-back first overall picks. It was, and the first one was Myles Garrett. They didn't take a quarterback. They
Right.
got Myles Garrett, which they should have gotten Mahomes, but whatever. But there's no, I don't know. Maybe in 2 years, I'm saying, oh, they should have just drafted Matt Corral while I had him right there. But that's the other thing. You never really know.
Taken Mahomes.
No, because no, everyone would have lost their minds if they took Mahomes.
Yeah, and they would have broken him too.
Oh yeah, they definitely would have broken him.
Would not have gone well.
So I see them sticking with Goff, and that's what you have as well.
yeah. Actually
Next
not
up,
super interesting there.
no, not a ton. Next up, Green Bay Packers. I got Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Better
no
for
way Rodgers
worse.
comes back. That's the thing I can guarantee you.
I almost put him back just because this thing is so stupid, and it's
It
like
is
I
so
feel like
stupid.
we're just. There's
It's like-
part of me that feels like we're bound to get another year of him being there and whining and bitching about how he hates it, and then just nothing happens again.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be like Groundhog's Day. I mean, like we're gonna wake up and be like, Rodgers trade rumors again, and then they fell through again.
Yep. They tag Adams. He stays for one more year.
That's the other
And
thing.
they get the
they're
1 seed
definitely
again.
Yeah, and they lose in the playoffs miserably one more
Mhm.
time. Oh, this one is my favorite one. The Houston Texans. Davis Mills.
Man.
He
Man himself.
like
It is crazy how we went from like Houston is gonna pick in the top 3. They're definitely taking the quarterback. To now it's like actually serious. Okay, let's ride it with Davis.
he proved himself that he can start.
He did.
He did. He had a great rookie season. He had no help whatsoever on the team besides Brandon Cooks.
Oh yeah.
He had no help on the defense, and it seemed like they had I mean, I don't know who they're gonna have as their coach now, but it seemed like they hired that coach specifically to fire him a year later. So there was no hope with this team whatsoever. And
Oh yeah, they don't have a coach right now.
no, they don't because they're bums and hired Dan Curley literally just to fire him next year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're sticking with Davis. What?
Bring in Flores.
Yeah, I think they got to do something, and they need a real coach because Davis needs some real development here.
He needs some guidance.
He does.
I'm seeing Josh McCown rumors.
Yes, I have seen Josh McCown rumors. He was apparently the past couple seasons, like people have had him on NFL contracts just to like him coach people in the QB room and shit. So
Yeah.
I could definitely see McCown being. I think that would be awesome. Him being a head coach.
He can't be a head coach yet though.
Yeah, I wouldn't say head. He hasn't even been an assistant yet. Like I think he head
Yeah.
coached a high school team. So
Yeah, he did.
I don't know. Well, you have Davis as well.
I have to, of course.
Good. This one sucked. The next one, the Indianapolis Colts.
I think we have the same ones for a while.
Probably.
Now that I'm looking at it.
Carson Wentz. Yeah. Well, these next ones are all pretty much guaranteed besides the Raiders. Carson Wentz, I really wanted to move him.
I was trying to find a spot for him. I almost put him on the Bucs.
Really?
That was the one that I almost did.
But then who do the Colts get? Like, I don't like. There's nothing that they can upgrade that is better than Carson Wentz right now, without going all in on a Rodgers or a Russell Wilson. So,
I mean, unless it was like a Bridgewater guy, somebody like that.
But why?
Or Mitch.
But why at that point? I just keep Wentz. Unless you're getting some.
Do you think Mitch could be better than Wentz?
No.
I think he could.
I think there's a chance, but we haven't seen it.
I mean, what does Wentz do better than Mitch in that offensive system? Like, honestly, I'm not joking.
No, I agree. Wentz sucks. That's why I wanted to move him so badly.
I would rather have Mitch on that team than Wentz.
It's a bold take. That's what I like. That's what we like.
I put Wentz on here, but now I'm like kind of selling myself on.
But then where does Wentz go?
I don't know. I don't know. Should I do it and then just make an adjustment along the way?
You can if you want to. It's your list.
All right, put Mitch on the Colts. Why not?
Mitchell Trubisky starting for the Colts. You heard it here first.
Some of these are just things that I would like to see happen, so that's gonna fall under that umbrella, just to spice it up.
This is what we would do. I think pretty much. There's not we just couldn't, or what we think they're gonna do. That's what I kind of have. The Mitch he's got to get a chance. Why shouldn't he be able to get a chance to be a starter again?
I will always believe in Mitch. He's one of those guys for me, and I think it's just because he won me a couple fantasy games a couple years ago.
Why can't he play for the Commanders?
No, I don't want him on my team. I'm not that confident in him. I put him somewhere else.
How quickly they turn.
You have Jonathan Taylor, you have a good offensive line, you have Pittman. You have a good offensive head coach that can revive his career, maybe. Although he didn't do it with Wentz.
Yeah, that's what we thought with Wentz.
Yeah. But
all right.
Wentz, I have no words to even describe Wentz. He just sucks.
He does suck. He's a buffoon.
He's a buffoon.
All right, next two, Lawrence Jaguars and Mahomes Chiefs. We're just gonna skip through those. And now the Raiders. I couldn't find anywhere for Carr.
They have to stick. This is the one that makes
there should be no reason why Carr.
Because he was actually really good this year, and it's only because they're bringing in a new coach. But why would a new coach want to come in and get rid of
an established
borderline top 10 quarterback? It doesn't make any sense to me. Where do you go from here, unless they think that they can get Rodgers or Wilson?
And unless you do that, that's the only way you move from Carr, because Carr is what people are looking for. Mm-hmm. People are looking for someone who can win a playoff game, or not win, but be in the playoffs. They could have won that Bengals game. They could Bengals are in the Super Bowl right now, and the Raiders were driving down on them to win the game. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I've never liked Carr either, but this year kind of changed my mind on him.
Once they made the play,
they had a brutal year.
And
with everything that went down there, and
he
he
still
was
made
solid the whole way.
And he seems like a leader of that team.
Yeah, he is.
So that's a good pick. Yeah, we're both sticking with Carr. And there's just nothing who else you replace him with if it's not, as we said, if you're not Wilson or Aaron Rodgers. I feel like we've said that about every other team, but
yeah, it's
how it is. There's two big fish, and you got to be the one.
Yeah, we said that right at the beginning that there's a bunch of these veteran guys that really just have no spots that make all that sense unless they just start switching around.
Yeah, unless they all flip around each other, which would be kind of pointless.
Yeah, I'd like to see it though.
No, I think it'd be fun.
Get Kirk Cousins on the Colts and Baker on the Bucks, Wentz on the Saints. Just throw everything out of whack.
Yeah, like a fantasy
change
draft.
Anything.
Yeah, like a fantasy draft. Just kind of blows it up.
Just mediocre NFL quarterbacks.
Yeah, with all the mid quarterbacks.
Right.
All right, next two, both LA teams, Herbert, Stafford, respectively.
Yes.
Dolphins, they fired Flores because of it. They got to stick with Tua.
Did you want to go Watson here? Because I did.
I did a little
There's
bit.
too much.
but,
There's too much uncertainty there.
And no, and it's not the uncertainty. It's why would you fire the guy who wanted Watson to begin with, to then go get Watson afterwards? Like all the reports were that Watson wants to play with Brian Flores. Brian Flores wants Watson, and Tua was out. And then they chose Tua over the coach. So now they have to stick with Tua.
Mm-hmm. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, this is a make or break year for Tua.
Yes, it is.
This next one, I don't know if it's actually gonna happen, but I want to see Kellen Mond be starting for the Vikings.
Yeah.
Just because of how much not that I liked him in the draft, but would have accepted him as my quarterback if in the draft.
Oh yeah, I wanted him.
Yeah. So I hope that he comes in, and the fact that he didn't get to play at all this year was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mike Zimmer had already seen him in practice, so he didn't.
So he didn't want to see him in the game.
If you remember that,
I do remember that.
Kirk is another guy who has 1 year left on the deal, so it's like they might as well just
try to
run back again. They don't have a coach either yet, right?
No, they did. They just got the Rams offensive coordinator.
They did.
Yeah. We'll do a whole coaching.
Simon Finnegan.
No, I think his name's like O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell.
Oh, Kevin O'Connell?
Yeah.
That was a guy that people wanted the Redskins to hire.
The Commanders.
Oh my gosh, dude. If he becomes like a stud head coach, people are going to lose their minds.
Hey, you guys have
him too and let him go.
Really? He's another one that you guys had?
Yes. Yep.
He'll be added to the graphic when he makes. It'll be NFC Championship, all former Washington Redskins coaches.
Oh gosh. The Vikings though are just like they'll never have good offense.
Not under Kirk.
I don't know why.
Because Kirk Cousins is the quarterback.
But they do kinda. Kirk I just don't understand at all. This whole team I really don't. They're my favorite team.
The Vikings.
I love them. Yeah, because I just don't understand.
The crack cocaine.
They're my
Kellen
crack
would just
team.
Kellen would just instantly make them more fun to watch.
I don't know if you can make them more fun to watch.
All right. New England.
I had them sticking with Kirk.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was about to ask. New England Patriots, Mac Jones.
Mm-hmm.
New Orleans Saints. I have James G.
Oh, you do?
New Orleans
Okay.
Saints.
I have Teddy.
You have 2 gloves coming back,
I think
coming
they should
home.
bring back Teddy. That's what I wanted them to do a couple years ago. I don't think they ever should have gotten rid of him.
They shouldn't. When
time.
Drew Brees got injured, he got injured for like 9 weeks, and Teddy came in and went like 7-2. It was something crazy like that. He was winning
kept
games
them in the
for
running for the 1 seed.
Yeah, Teddy was nothing but good for them, and got completely wasted every time.
Yeah, I think they should bring him back.
I like that.
Because it's like the same team, right?
I feel like it's the same team every year.
I know. They just have negative $60 million in cap room.
That's why. That's the only thing with the Jimmy G. It's like, I don't know how that's gonna work, but they're gonna have to cut, like, literally strip their roster to get under the cap space if they ever wanted to.
Yeah.
So they can't marginally upgrade. I was thinking about bringing Jameis back, let it ride one more time, because he did get injured, and he was decent with them. Like, he beat both the 1 seeds that were, well, at the time, it was the Pats and the Packers, and he was the one, he was like one of the only ones that beat both of them. So, I don't know.
I have a better spot for Jameis.
Oh, so you have a better spot for Jameis? Is he coming home?
We'll see.
All right, the next one, this one you're going to hate. The New York Giants.
I know.
And I have Russell Wilson going to the New York Giants. We have a comment about the New York Giants that I was saving until later from Cole in the comments on YouTube saying, without a home run, I think the Giants are going to ride it out with Daniel Jones. Maybe one of the 3 coaches we have over the next 5 years can do something with him. That's what I was thinking. I was like, they're just going to stick with Daniel Jones. And then I thought about it and I said, what? Like, if Russ is going anywhere, I think he's going to New York.
No. I think the same thing. Like the Giants, it's it's such a weird situation because everybody knows he's bad. I feel like they also know that he's bad, but no one is gonna say it, and they're just gonna keep
why
trotting
not?
him out there. I don't know.
I don't
Why
understand
has no one
they
said it
can't.
over the past 4 seasons?
I really don't get it. The Daniel
Like,
Jones
he hasn't
thing.
done anything for them.
I don't know what he has over the front office. He's got to have some blackmail.
It's because he looks like Eli Manning.
And he went to the Eli Manning camp. He went to Duke. That's why. But he's playing like washed Eli Manning, not the Super Bowl Eli Manning. So I don't know.
I feel like he could play there forever.
Daniel Jones. He'll
He'll
never
do
get benched.
anything about it, and he'll have like one playoff season.
No, and
That's my
he'll
guess.
have every game against the Commanders. He'll be good, and they'll be like, oh, like look at it, like what I told you, and
That'll be Michael Vick.
yeah. So, but I think they should actually get rid of him and get Russell Wilson instead.
Well, yeah, they should obviously. They should be the first team taking a quarterback in this draft, but I would be shocked if they do.
And the other thing with Wilson, I wanted to look for price. The Seahawks don't have a first round pick. Now they'd have I'm guessing they'd get 5. And you get you also get Daniel Jones back. So I wouldn't say you don't they have 5 and they don't have to take a quarterback. Cuz as we talked about earlier, they can get I'm sure they're going to get a second round pick too at some point. So they can wait till 41 or maybe they'll get 36 from the Giants and take one there. But they have options on what they can do. They can even take that 5th pick and then trade down and get more picks. Like, they have options they can do with this if they do pull it off with this. So
they got to get rid of Pete Carroll. If they get rid of Wilson, Carroll has to go as well. Like, you got to restart the whole thing.
Why not just get rid of Pete first? Keep
That's
the
what I'm
star
saying.
quarterback. No, I'm saying
Yeah.
keep the star quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you're picking over a 62-year-old coach or a 32-year-old. No, yeah, he's like almost 70. Or a 32-year-old star quarterback that has a cannon for an R. That's true. That's why I didn't say it. Yeah, MVP, not MVP quarterback. But you got to keep Russell.
Yeah.
But it looks like that's the direction they're not going. I don't know why.
There is part of me that sees him just staying put. And like
definitely
this whole thing for nothing.
Yes, I 100%.
But I hope not.
I want to see some movement.
I'm sick of watching him on the Seahawks. I'm sick of that team.
Yeah, the Seahawks need something. They need some change. All right, the New York Jets. I have Mr. Zach Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
For a second, I was thinking Wilson for Wilson. A little Russell for Zach, and then get another first rounder for the Seahawks. Get your first rounder back. You never should have traded him. That's what I was thinking at first.
If I'm the Jets, like I don't even know if I do.
That's what I was thinking. If I'm the Jets, I'm not doing it. Like, you just drafted this guy 2nd overall. You draft him 2nd overall to be better than a Russell Wilson at some point.
Right.
So,
well, I also am from the camp that thinks Wilson is pretty Russell Wilson is kind of overrated.
and
I don't want to.
it doesn't fit. Yeah, it doesn't fit the timeline of the Jets.
Yeah, no, they're not ready for a move like that yet.
No, but the Giants are. The Giants will.
Yes, the Giants are, because the Giants have pieces.
They do. All right. Next one, Philadelphia Eagles. You go first.
I kept Hurts.
I
don't think there's that many moves that they can make.
I thought they could make a big swing. They got 3 first-round picks, and I think 2 of them are going to Houston. And I think Deshaun Watson will be going. And your division will consist of
oh my God.
Commanders quarterback that won't be named yet because we have to get them later. It'll be Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, and Deshaun Watson. The NFC Beast will be back.
Why do you do this to me? Like, why?
I don't know. I just that's where I was typing it out, and it's not like I was like, oh, like I'm gonna put him on the Eagles because I hate Chris. It's like I put him on the Eagles because that's where I thought he was gonna go.
And then last week you were like, oh, I have this grand plan to fix your team. It's like
I still like that
Malik
plan.
Willis.
I still like that plan.
That's it. That was the whole thing. And now it's like the best quarterbacks on the market will all come to your division.
I was gonna give you guys Watson. I just didn't see the ammo. You can't outbid the Eagles with 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, no, I know. Whatever. I don't want Watson here.
All right. It's Pittsburgh Steelers. I have Big Ben. What's it? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Simba.
I know. I really wanted to put Simba down.
want
I
this so bad.
actually typed it out. I had Mason Rudolph typed out. Fully typed out.
I typed
and
out.
everything.
I have Mason Rudolph, but I have him drafting Pickett.
Yeah, I have
He's from
Pickett.
Pittsburgh. It's got to be, right?
I think, like, same thing with the Sam Howell. Like, keep him in house. Like, the fans are gonna love it, even if he sucks. Like, you can be like, well, we took the hometown kid. Like, you can't really blame him.
Right.
So, I was gonna warn you because you said you were talking earlier, not like earlier today, but like earlier in a different pod or whatever. You were talking about how you liked Kenny Pickett. Did you know his hands are very small? He won't even get a measure.
Weren't Burrow's hands small too?
They were, but I think these are like apparently it's like this is like record small for a quarterback hands. And clearly he's had no problems in college, so I don't know why it really would matter, but I think it's just funny. It's funny words. He won't get his hands measured because he's scared that he'll lose draft
That's
value.
ridiculous. Reported to have hands that only measure 8.25 inches.
Oh
okay,
my
Burrow's hands were
God.
9 inches.
Tiny.
What's like the average hand size for an NFL quarterback?
You're asking the wrong person.
Right now. Oh.
It's probably like 12.
12 inches? Are you serious? Do you know how big that is? It's
Well,
9 7/8.
Oh yeah, 12 inches. Yeah, you're right.
12 is humongous.
That's a foot. Yeah. It's like Kawhi.
That's like a gigantic ant.
It's like Kawhi. You're right. It's 12 would be like the size of the ball. That's all. That was stupid. That was still. But so we both have him drafting Kenny Pickett. You don't think he's gonna start right away? I think they should start. Like, get Simba some reps.
I would love to see Simba.
He was the 15th overall pick. You might as well give him some more reps.
Yeah, some people to this day say he never got a fair shot.
That's just not true, but he had plenty of fair shots. The fair shot was when it was 4th and 15, and he threw it he didn't throw it to the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Or 4th and goal, it was like, 10 yards, and he didn't throw it to the end zone. He threw it out of bounds on 4th down. That was it. That was his chance.
What game was that? The Panthers game?
I think so.
I tried to block
That was
out,
like
everything.
that was. I think it was like a week after he went to the strip club after a game or something like that.
Yes, he went to the strip club after the Seattle game.
Yeah.
And then they had to start him because they had no one else. We need him back.
What a clown.
We need more stories like that.
He needs to be on the thumbnail. He made record thumbnails for our.
He did. I would like to go back at one of these days when I don't have anything to do. I'm gonna look back and see who's on the thumbnail the most. Matt Jones is probably up there too, just because we talk about him so much.
Yeah. And
Simba,
I'm sure
like, going back early last season, it was all Simba, every single one.
All Simba all day. The other thing is, it's like I think like whenever the Commanders get their quarterback, it'll be like he'll be up there all the time too. It's just because it's like it's our teams. But Simba was for a reason, because at that point you just stopped being a fan for a season. You couldn't be watching Simba the whole time. All right, the next one.
I think we had to say like that we weren't going to talk about him anymore.
We did. He was on the burn list, just like any Jaguars game this year. We weren't allowed to talk about.
Or Atlanta Falcons.
Or Falcons games. All right, the 49ers going with Trey Lance. There's no way they bring back Jimmy. It's Trey time. They drafted him for a reason. Hey, they traded 2 first-round picks for him. They better put their money where their mouth is and start him next year.
I hope he sucks.
I hope he sucks too. Just because they could have had Mac.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope he sucks.
I just don't like Shanahan, so I hope everything he does fails.
That is true, because that was like his move. Like you could tell, like that was just Shanahan's move.
Yeah.
All right, Seattle Seahawks. This gets a little interesting. Jameis.
It's just the perfect spot for Jameis.
Oh, Pete Carroll would probably have a heart attack and die. Like Pete Carroll would have a heart attack and die.
The image of him playing 8 games in that stadium where it's always like ridiculous is so exciting to me.
Oh, he'd throw so many picks at home. He'd be like, it's too loud. I had.
in the rain too. The ball's all slippery.
I like this too now. I like Jameis.
So electric.
I'm changing my answer.
Okay.
I do think they'll still draft Desmond Ridder, but I'm bringing Ted B. 2 gloves is coming to Seattle. I think it's full circle. Didn't he get hurt by sliding in Seattle? I don't remember if it was or not. It was that bad slide and he got a concussion. That might have been total BS, but I don't know. I'd like to see him there.
It was the playoff game that they lost to Seattle.
Oh, yes,
the Blair
that's what
Walsh
it was.
kick.
That's what it was. There you go. Full circle. Teddy's back. He's in Seattle. I just think stopgap quarterback. They get Desmond Ridder on the bench. I had Desmond Ridder starting at first. He probably won't be ready to start, even though he's a senior. He's
I don't trust Ridder.
No, that's the other thing. He needs to learn, like, I don't know, ball placement, and I think Pete Carroll will help him out and stuff like that. So, and Teddy could help out with that too. So that's where the mindset is there. This team needs something.
They need some juice.
And even they need some
Teddy
James
is not
juice.
Teddy is not juicy.
That is true.
Whatever the opposite of juice is. He's milk.
I think Ritter's juicy though. He's like
Ridder
some
could
nice,
be juicy.
He's like some nice apple juice that you could get yourself to find. All right, next up, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who do you got?
I want to put Wentz here so bad, but this guy's got to go somewhere. So we'll put James G. on the Buccaneers.
Oh, James G's
Brady's successor.
Yes, the greatest.
Which is too good to be true.
I was thinking about that too. I was like, that'd be such like a kick to the nuts. You know, it's like, Brady's like, all right, I'm finally like retiring. At least I like Campa. And then it's like, this guy again coming back, taking my sloppy seconds one last time.
Brings back Antonio Brown.
That would be so funny. They fire Arians, they get Belichick.
They put together like a trade package for him.
Yeah, they trade for Belichick and then get James White on the team as well. Brady just loses his mind. He's like, well, it's like Jimmy's finally turned. It's like, I'm finally here to take over for
right.
Tom Brady.
We're getting Belichick can finally be like, yeah, did you see it? This is what I wanted the whole time, Brady, you dickhead.
I like that. I have Kirk Cousins for a similar, just because it's, I mean.
They would be good with Kirk.
They would be good with Kirk. There's no reason why that's what you need to do with Kirk. You need to put him on a team like that where all the pieces around him are already clicking. They already know how to work together. The defense is good. And you have
Actually, you know, they'd go 9-8.
They'd find a way.
Now that I think about it, they'd be 500. They might sneak into the playoffs.
They might sneak in with Jimmy G too. Like
Jimmy G is just a winner.
He might. Yeah. The thing is, like, what if he gets exposed? Like, it's just like all of a sudden it's just like Jimmy G's not a winner, not anymore.
Yeah. Right. It's like, wow, who saw that one coming?
No, because then we'd have to give Kyle Shanahan credit. That's the worst. I'd never want to do that.
Trey Lance will suck, so it's fine.
This next one, the Tennessee Titans. I've seen have you seen the reports? Aaron Rodgers has a house in Nashville.
House, yeah.
I really wanted to give them Rodgers. I wanted to give him Wilson too. I couldn't see it happen. I just couldn't do it. They're such
in purgatory.
They are, and I feel like they're kind of this could be completely wrong, but I feel like they're kind of a conservative team. They don't you don't see them making massive moves. Like they got Julio, and that's kind of
Julio.
Like, yeah, but like they got Julio, 2nd round pick. I don't know. I've never seen they don't seem as an aggressor like either the Broncos would be with Rodgers or someone else with Rodgers.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And Vrabel. Vrabel's their coach. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Vrabel and Aaron Rodgers cannot coexist. That would definitely not work. Too many cooks in the kitchen there.
Yeah, I didn't keep Tannehill as well.
It's so boring and it sucks.
Buzzkill.
It is a buzzkill, and it's an L for them. Like you shouldn't want Tannehill again.
No, you should not. He talked about getting exposed. he got exposed
Big time
this year.
Big time. All right. Are you ready? Moment we've all been waiting for.
Can you guess?
The Washington Commanders. Can I get? Wait, who's left? I don't know who's left. Who hasn't moved around?
I left somebody off.
All right. Well, I'm going. You heard my plan last episode, so I already went through it. You draft Malik, get Ryan Fitzpatrick. Christopher, I'm scared for what you're going to say. I haven't been keeping track of what your picks are, so
You haven't been keeping track.
no, I haven't been keeping track. So who
Give me
is it?
Rodgers.
Oh,
Give it
yo
to me.
way! I had
Give
totally.
it to me.
No, you're not getting Rodgers. Have
Send
fun
the
with
whole
that.
farm.
You're not getting Rodgers.
It's a perfect fit. They have a good defense. Well, I still think they have a good defense, or could be good. He's gonna love McLaurin. He's got a good running game. They have
you
like
getting
the
Adams
best
too?
O-line. He can play for Riverboat Ron. I don't care about Adams. We have McLaurin. Curtis Samuel will be healthy. We'll draft a receiver in the first round.
Who you giving? You're giving
Oh,
Matt
wow.
Ioannidis a first round pick, and what else? Or are you getting over to Duran?
I don't care.
One of them, just one of them.
Somebody.
One of the D linemen,
Send
just
the
toss
farm.
him in there.
Just send the farm. I'm ready to mortgage the future for Rodgers. Just give me something. I need like a little bit of hope here. That's more than a little bit.
That's
So
fair.
give it to me.
The Rodgers. I mean, it would be a great fit. There's no one's saying it wouldn't be a great fit. I don't think it's gonna happen for you, sadly. But the Rodgers headache, would it be worth it? I mean, yeah, it would be worth it. Yeah, you haven't seen quarterback play like Rodgers ever.
In the history of the team.
Hey, apparently the Commanders' history goes all the way back 1932. So, okay, give it to you. Yeah, go ahead, have it.
I want him.
I
want him.
Like,
I don't want Russ.
Do you think you said you don't want Russ because you think he's massively overrated? Do you think if the Packers come up and they go, like, we're gonna trade you to the Commanders, do you think Rodgers is like, nah?
I think he's all in.
I
I think he wants to be. He could be the commander.
He could be the commander in chief.
Actually, the commander is Dan.
Dan-
Which on a
Dan.
quick aside, I cannot get enough of like people photoshopping Dan Snyder's face into like pictures of Stalin. Of, like they'll put like the writing in like old Russian, and there was one like they play like the song. And it's I can't get enough. Every time I see it on Twitter, I have to like it. They play like. And you have
the Dan
there he
Snyder
is.
regime.
Commander Snyder.
The Dan Snyder regime.
And it gets me every time. So he would be, I think he'd be second in command in that scenario. But still, I think he would do it.
That is such like that is like the Commanders. You have the pot on the stove, rattling, bubbling inside, and then you just take a bunch of you take like a hand grenade and toss it in the pot. That's Aaron Rodgers. You just blow it like you're just it's gonna be a story every week. Dan Snyder and Aaron Rodgers fight and be like,
Well, no, he's not a part of day-to-day operations anymore. So it'd be him and Tanya that would be scared.
Tanya.
Anything.
No, you're right. You like him in the cool black or the cool yellow or cool not yellow red.
Cranberry red.
Yeah, the cranberry.
All right, we didn't. I listened to the Jason Wright interview after we had the podcast. He said that it's the same burgundy.
It's not.
He's like, I know. I don't know who he's fooled. Like maybe it is, and it's just the gradient that throws it off. But he was like, yeah, the NFL actually has very strict rules, and you can't change the color. And the guy interviewing him was like, it doesn't look the same.
No, it doesn't.
He's like, well, it is. We're like, no, it's not.
It's so
The
dumb.
gradient apparently is supposed to honor like the guys who founded Washington D.C.
Oh, definitely.
So-
Yeah, that makes sense. That 100% makes sense. All the commanders
We
that
look like
founded
fools
Washington
for-
D.C. Yeah.
for
We
making fun of the
really
gradient.
we really shouldn't have made fun of that gradient. I didn't think
Yeah.
that George Washington wore the gradient. What do you mean the people who founded DC? The founding fathers?
No, like I don't know if like founded the city, but like guys who did a lot for the city. And the guy Kevin Sheehan, the guy interviewing him was just like, yeah, like I get that, like the history's cool and all, but like people just want a cool uniform. Like we don't really care that much. I was like, yes, that is correct.
Damn.
Anyway,
it sounds like a bad interview.
It was. I mean, he.
I feel bad. I generally feel bad for you because this was your savior.
Jason Wright?
Yeah, you were. It's not Bruce Allen. He seemed like a charismatic,
still not
smart guy. He's just another dummy added to the pot. It's just another.
I mean, he was also put in like the most impossible of impossible situations. So he really hasn't done like that poorly of a job, but I just hate the way that he talks.
The people who trademarked those names, how long do they have those trademarks for?
I don't know, but like as an NFL team, how are you not
getting the trademark? Yeah. Exactly.
That's such a lame excuse to me. It's like, oh,
that's why I brought it up. Yeah,
just negotiate a price. Like you're an NFL franchise.
The Commanders, I think, are like $3 billion in value. Like give them a mill or two. I'm sure the guy will back down.
Make any sense to me?
That's so dumb.
But I don't know.
Well, I think that does it for the carousel. So now we have. I mean, I was not expecting. I can't believe I forgot about Rodgers, and it's not.
We only talked about him for like every single team too.
That's why I forgot about it, because like we would talk about him for every team. I was like, oh, he threw him in there somewhere, and I totally forgot. Wow. All right. Well, this is gonna be fun. I doubt there's gonna be like even this many moves. We always think it's gonna be such a grand carousel, and I doubt there's even gonna be this many. But
yeah, I feel like we even played it kind of conservatively.
Oh, I definitely played it a little bit conservatively, and it's not as fun when you do that, but it's also. You got to think about, like, I'm trying to get some realistic here, and so it's not just me like, oh, I would like to see, Aaron Rodgers back on the Pats. He's back on the Patriots. But I don't know. We'll see. And all right, so we have an NBA trade as well. The start of the NBA trade deadline. This was, it's a mid-level trade. Like it's not anything earth-shattering, but I do. Gotta admit that the Portland Trailblazers are really stupid.
Yeah, I mean I didn't realize how bad they had been this season.
Yeah, they're awful.
Like I also don't know what this move really does for them.
It makes them worse. So they're getting worse, and they're not really getting any pieces that will like make them better in the future. No, exactly. They got nothing.
That's my takeaway from it.
They had Gary Trent Jr., who has now he's dropping he's averaging great numbers this year for the Raptors. Traded to the Raptors for Norman Powell. Got Norman Powell. They now traded him and Robert Covington, two people that contenders that want to win the NBA championship have been sending trade offers for. And then the Clippers come in and get him for I was about to say Drew Bledsoe, Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, and some guy named Johnson who never even plays. And a second-round pick. They got nothing because what does Bledsoe do for your team? You have freaking Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. Justice Winslow been a bust.
Forgot that he existed.
Exactly. And I didn't know he was on the Clippers.
So I just think of Duke. I don't think of him as an NBA player even.
No, he never plays. And then you get a second rounder and some guy named Johnson. Like, congrats. Johnson's he's 19. He's good enough to be a first round pick, but I mean, he's still not great. I'm sure Dame Lillard can't wait to play with them. Like when you think about it, that is such a stupid move where now you have to trade Dame Lillard now.
I was about to say Dame. If not, I don't think he probably doesn't go at the deadline, right? But
I doubt
at least
it.
in the offseason.
He's definitely gone in the offseason. And they say, he got rid of cap space, and now he's like more cap space. No one wants to play in Portland. We've seen it time and time again that no one ever wants to play in Portland. So why do you think Dame Lillard? If people wanted to play in Portland, they already would have been playing with Dame Lillard, and now they just have no chance. Especially when Norman Powell was actually something that you could trade for something. And same with Robert Covington. Robert Covington, they traded 2 first round picks for him. You trade 2 first round picks for a guy, and then trade him for nothing.
I don't know.
What I know.
They haven't made a good move since since putting Lillard and McCollum together.
That was it. That's all they had.
Yeah.
There is some other trades like rumored about, of course, Ben Simmons. Do you think we actually see him gone?
I can't. I don't have the mental energy to deal with that today.
But what about Mr. Bradley Beal? So
they have to.
Here's the thing.
I think at this point they have to.
Here's the issue. So you look at Bradley Beal. This is now, I think it's like, this is pretty much fair. This is fair for me to say, at least. He's not going to win you a championship alone. And he's not going to win it. He is if he's paired with another superstar, he's the beta. I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
He's definitely the beta. And so you have no shot of getting, like, you're not getting an alpha to partner up with him. So you got to trade him now because he's going to be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. And once that happens, it's going to end up where people are going to need to do a sign and trade. And you're going to have to do a sign and trade where you get, like if he wants to come to the Celtics, it'll be like a sign and trade for, like, Romeo Langford and, like, the corpse of Al Horford. You're not going to be getting... I don't want that. Yeah, right. Where right now you can actually get pieces for it and actually try to get in a actual real situation. And the only issue with that is that if you're an NBA team, you trade for Beal knowing he's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. What's the value? So you guys are in a pickle.
Oh yeah, it's a big time pickle.
So what do you
But
what do you see happening?
I don't know. I know, like, they don't want to trade him. I know that. And there's, like, reports that he's highly unlikely to get moved at the deadline.
And he said he'll stay because, of course, why wouldn't you stay? And
he's
lose games for $200 million
now.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you get paid $200 million to just hang out and play basketball? So the only thing, like, if you trade him for Ben Simmons, I think you're gonna lose your mind. You might burn the city of Washington if
I don't think Simmons is that bad.
Neither do I.
But, like, I don't know. There's just something about that would
because
me.
Then you have to play him all the time.
They need a scorer.
And then you play Bradley Beal all the time and play playoff games against Bradley Beal where he's gonna kick your butt.
They wouldn't play the playoffs.
That's true.
I could sell myself on Simmons, I think.
No, I'm sure you would. I would sell myself on Simmons as long as Jaylen Brown's not involved. That'd be the only thing. And Tatum? Nor Tatum either. I don't think he would work on. I don't want Bradley Beal for them either, because I think they're better than him. But I don't know. What do you think about, like, I don't know, the Nuggets? You get Michael Porter Jr. You get maybe who's the guy who's injured, went to Kentucky, got his dick sucked on Instagram Live at the bubble. The point guard.
Oh, Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray, yeah.
I don't know why that. I was thinking. I didn't realize. Yeah.
You get Jamal. I think that would be a good package.
You think they trade Jamal and Michael Porter?
Think about it. You get Bradley Beal and Jokic.
If I were them.
I think Bradley Beal and Jokic can get you a championship, though. So
possibly.
I don't know. There's a lot of what sucks about the NBA day trade deadline is that everything is everything's always rumored, and it's always there's scenario A, B, and C, where all these guys can get flipped, and it's so much fun to deal with, and then it just never happens.
I mean, every year when we do the trade deadline, we sit here and we talk about it for like 2 weeks ahead.
Yep, and here we are a week earlier.
The Norman Powell trade. Yep. We're like, oh, it's heating up, and then that's the biggest move. the whole deadline.
No, what's a shame is that it'll be, I think the trade deadline's next Wednesday, so we'll have a pod that day, and it'll be it's always at 4 p.m. or you're like, oh, here it is. Like, here comes the onslaught of trades. It's like, it gets up, it's like 3:50. You're like, here they all come. Like, they're coming. You open up Twitter, start refreshing. And then
you even wait like 10 minutes after 4 o'clock.
Yeah, because you're like, maybe there's nothing.
It's like, oh, they're probably just filing the paperwork.
Yeah. Woj was just a little late on this one. No. I remember it was the year where the Cavs did all those moves where they're sending people left and right at the trade deadline. And I remember I was walking home from school, and it was like around 4-ish. I was walking around. I was like, come on, like, this gotta be it. And it was actually one of the times where it was late. I was like, oh, like, because I got home and I was like, man, like, nothing happened on the trade deadline. I come home, it's like, oh crap, the Cavs just traded everyone. But trade deadline's always a fun time. I do hope Bradley gets somewhere, so you guys don't get completely screwed in the offseason.
Yeah, I do too.
And for Brad's sake,
I don't
too.
know how to feel as a fan. I mean, he should have asked to be traded like 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's
That's kind of on him.
That's true. The other rumors would just be, I mean, they keep saying Westbrook, but I don't think that's ever gonna, like, they're stuck with Westbrook.
Yeah. Nobody wants him.
No, they are. There's a lot of Marcus Smart buzz, and the past 3 games they were on a 3-game win streak, and he's been a big part of that 3-game win streak, where he's been rolling over people and playing great offense. So I don't know. Maybe you don't trade Smart. I've always been on the bandwagon to trade Smart.
I know you like Smart,
but I do, like, when he comes in clutch, he comes in clutch. But
yeah.
then all of a sudden, he's just gonna be back to being bad Marcus Smart, and that's not what I want on my team. That's the issue with Marcus Smart is that good Marcus Smart, it's like, oh, he's hard, he's hustle, he gets some fiery threes, and then bad Marcus Smart is like, oh, this guy sucks.
Right.
Like, this guy can't.
Like, not a good basketball player.
He's shooting the backboard off of it. Like, he's gonna break it.
That's Russ too.
That is Russ.
I mean, like, at a much different level, but
yeah. There's been a lot of Celtic trades too. The only thing I will say about the Celtics is if they get any way to get Jalen Brunson from the Dallas Mavericks, that's a win. So I don't know. Now with the 3-game winning streak, it threw me off my course. And
notice the change in the emojis on Twitter.
Yes, every time the Celtics play, some guy on my feed does like the Celtics play today in the prayer emoji, and I retweet it with a different emoji based off how I'm feeling off the Celtics.
Yeah.
And it's all been good. It's all been positive. I know they're just gonna, like, coming up next they have, well, because we were playing the Pelicans, the Heat, the Hornets, then the Pistons and Magic. So when we get on the 5-game, I'm gonna be feeling good. We're definitely gonna lose to the Nets at home. And then
the Nets have lost like 7 in a row.
Oh, that I know. They're gonna lose 10 in a row and then beat us. That's how it's gonna work. And then we're gonna, like, Atlanta. We're gonna lose Nuggets, Sixers. We're just gonna be back on a bad slump, and all of a sudden we'll be 500 again. I saw a stat since the bubble. The Boston Celtics have been in the playoffs 500, and their record is like 4 above 500 right now, ever since.
It's a nice spot to be in.
No, it's awful. It's even worse than just being bad, because then you just know you're bad. This just gives me hope all the time. So, it's a shame. But I don't know. I hope Sabonis, like, I would like Sabonis on the Celtics as long as we have both the Jalen and Jason. And I hope something happens in the trade deadline. That's all I'm hoping for. Some fun.
As well.
So we can talk about it. All right, I think that is that everything?
Yeah.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks for coming in. Thanks for listening, and